Interview with the Vampire, AMC's two-season adaptation of Anne Rice's first novel in the Vampire Chronicles, was one of the more genuinely surprising creative achievements in recent prestige television. A melancholic, operatic meditation on memory, truth, and the specifically intimate violence of a long-term relationship gone catastrophically wrong. Louis de Pointulac's narration was elegiac and precise. The show's pace was deliberate, sometimes to a fault. It was a vampire story in the formal tradition of the literary Gothic, and it wore that identity with complete conviction. Now, after a brief detour through the six-episode spy drama miniseries Talamasca: The Secret Order, we have once again been given something else entirely in the Vampire Lestat, where Louis told his story like a man giving testimony, carefully, painfully aware of every word's weight. Lestat tells his like a man who has grabbed the microphone and has absolutely no intention of giving it back. The premiere establishes its formal conceit immediately. This is a rock documentary, following Lestat's 2025 concert tour as he attempts to reclaim his narrative in the wake of Daniel Malloy's published account of the events of Interview with the Vampire. The cinematography shifts between color and black and white as the documentary framing clicks in and out. Lestat's voiceover is sassy, digressive, and completely uninterested in presenting him in a flattering light, which paradoxically makes him more charming than any amount of deliberate self promotion could manage. He describes himself with complete sincerity as a god, and then immediately demonstrates every way in which he is desperately, irreducibly human. Sam Reid is the engine of all of this, and the premiere is a reminder that his casting as Anne Rice's most prominent character remains one of the best decisions this franchise has made. Reid has always understood that Lestat's flamboyance and his fragility are not opposites, they are expressions of the same underlying wound. A being of extraordinary power who is, beneath all the performance, desperately and continuously seeking acknowledgement that he matters. His reaction to reading Malloy's published book, a rapid quick cut of escalating despair, frustration, and wounded pride, building to a full crash out, is one of the episode's best sequences. And when he performs Longface, his band's song that gets comically picked on throughout the episode, Reed's sheer magnetism makes even the weakest lyrics go down easy. The episode is framed by a secret auction of Lestat's audio recounting of these events, held in the narrative's present with familiar faces in the crowd, including a limping Louis, a visibly annoyed Raglan James, and an eye-patched Armand, before plunging back to Detroit in the spring of 2025. The structure is appropriately chaotic, cutting between timelines with the gleeful disregard for linear chronology that the character himself embodies. When it works, it captures something genuinely exciting about the difference between Louis' version of the story and Lestat's, and the shift from testimony to performance. Malloy is back too, interviewing Lestat directly this time, which gives the episode a wonderful dramatic irony. The man who published the account that wounded Lestat's ego now embedded on the tour as Lestat attempts to rehabilitate that ego. By the end of the premiere, Lestat's identity has been fully exposed to his band, his manager, and everyone present. He flies off into the Detroit night severely injured, and then, in the episode's final moments, we discover who has been texting him throughout: his mother, Gabriella de Leoncourt, the one person before whom Lestat's considerable composure immediately, completely dissolves. And with that revelation, this season announces exactly what kind of story it intends to tell. Not the melancholy confession of Interview with the Vampire, but something louder, faster, and more chaotic. A vampire who has decided that if the world is going to know his story, he is going to be the one to tell it. The Vampire Lestat is airing now on AMC, so if you haven't been watching Anne Rice's Immortal Universe, I strongly recommend catching up. And let me know in the comments, what did you think of the premiere? And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Fandom Frontline for more reviews as the season continues.